The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 60. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of outstanding women finding their inner journey to self-confidence 5 days a week. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com to check out amazing blog articles and our killer resources. Well, hello, friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today's guest, she is a phenomenal woman. I've seen her on Facebook, just killing it, right? And, at such a young age, she's already been, a success in her businesses, and she is also a Generation Y business coach and networker. And, if you can hear the background noise, she hails all the way from Hawaii. So we're going to have the Hawaii experience today. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Michelle Ching. So Michelle, how are you today? And thanks for taking the time to do this. Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to the listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for having me. And yes, you guys might hear some background noise because I am soaking in all of the Hawaiian environment, and there's lots of background noise and singing. So, just my background real quick. I started out as an entrepreneur almost 4 years ago, and I was living here actually in Hawaii, and I've been living in Orlando, Florida for about the last 2.5 years, and started my business here in Hawaii. I was going to school part-time at the University of Hawaii and working part-time as a cocktail waitress. And, I got to a point where, I was really wanting something more. I was wanting to feel fulfilled in what I was doing with my life. And I definitely wasn't getting that working in the nightclub. So, I got introduced to network marketing. And, just like I'm sure a lot of entrepreneurs out there start off in network marketing. And, it's been such an amazing journey over the last few years. Since I was 21 years old, joining my first network marketing company. And within that, my team doing millions in sales. And I was able to create a 6-figure income at 22 years old. And now kind of branching off and, venturing out into teaching other young people what I'm doing. So I'm excited with the journey that I'm on.
Awesome. And I like how, age doesn't matter what age you are. You can be, as young as you are, or, someone as old as maybe someone in their 60s. It doesn't matter. When you're in this journey, you can just start anytime and just go, just go for it. Take action, especially, with the Generation Y, with college fees, like going up the roof, and when jobs aren't as available as they are, before. I mean, it's time to think differently. So I'm glad you were able to do things differently than what most students would do. And Michelle, what's your cultural background?
Well, I was born in Hawaii on the island of Oahu, but I grew up in Washington State with my mom. So at a very young age, my parents split up, but I grew up in Washington State, graduated there from high school. My ethnicity is Hawaiian, Chinese, Filipino, Caucasian, so I'm a mix of a lot of different things. But I grew up here out in Washington and then moved out here for college. And I'm sorry, there's a train in the background.
It's okay. It's all good.
So yeah, that's my cultural background.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And Michelle, what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
I would have to say a quote by Helen Keller, and it's, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. And I feel like with self-confidence, it really is something that you kind of develop over time. And I speak, with experience behind that, because I definitely didn't have a lot of self-confidence when I joined, the industry of network marketing. And through experiences, with individuals and experiences in business, it kind of helped me develop that self-confidence. But I've known that quote and heard that quote my entire life growing up, and I always knew that I had to have self-confidence if I wanted to be successful.
Thanks for sharing that. And, I think any journey in entrepreneurship, especially when we start something that's new and unknown, we're always so scared of what the outcomes is. And especially, as being Asian women, you have your friends and family too that kind of like see what you're doing, but they don't understand what you're doing. And because it's not like the norm, they don't accept it at first, right? So I mean, this is why like self-confidence is so huge in this kind of journey. So thanks for sharing that. And what would be your definition of self-confidence?
My definition of self-confidence, I would say, would have to be loving yourself exactly where you are in this very moment, but also realizing and harnessing your God-given potential, because every single one of us, as women, whether you're in business or not, or aspiring to be an entrepreneur, every single person has a talent, and every one of us, I believe we're wired within our DNA to be successful, but, having that self-confidence, it's really where it starts, and, just believing that you can do it, and no matter what anybody else says, you are going to be the best version of you, and you will always be your biggest competition. So I think it just starts with loving yourself and understanding and realizing that, yes, you do have potential, and really harnessing that and going for it.
Awesome. And I love that. It really does start with you. And a lot of people, don't realize that, if they want something that they really want bad, they have to start believing in themselves first before even, asking people for help or doing anything in life. So it really does start with you. And Michelle, what was your life like before the discovery of self-confidence?
Well, starting way back when, my parents actually split up when I was a baby, and I grew up in Washington, like I said, with my stepdad and my 3 siblings, my older brother and my 2 younger siblings, and we grew up very average, very mediocre. Both of my parents worked. Actually, my stepdad worked 9 to 5. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. And on the flip side of my parents' relationship, my dad was actually an entrepreneur. He's owned his own construction company for as long as I can remember. And, I kind of got to see both sides of the track, seeing a 9 to 5 and, kind of seeing that the freedom, or not so much the freedom of working in a 9 to 5 and having somebody else kind of dictate what your day will look like and your year and, what kind of vacations you can take. And then, I saw my dad where he really just made his own schedule, and he had complete control of his time and his freedom and what he did, and he controlled his money, which I really liked. Anyway, life was very mediocre. And, when I graduated from high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so to speak. And I feel like there's a lot of people in my generation that are like, I want to do something big. I want to do something successful. I just don't know what I want to do. And that was me. But I knew I wanted to do something successful. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to help a lot of people, because I knew that helping others, create success in their life and creating wealth was how I was going to become successful. And there's a great quote that I'll share a little bit later from Zig Ziglar that I've really built my business on. But about 3 years before I got introduced to network marketing and kind of stepped out into entrepreneurship, my life was a mess. Honestly, 3 years before I was in college, I started out wanting to be a dentist, which I just wanted to be in that because there was good money, but I had no desire to want to do that. It wasn't a passion of mine. And then I found fashion designing. So got involved in fashion design, was going to University of Hawaii, was doing modeling part-time for Wilhelmina, Hawaii. So I really loved being in the fashion industry. And I was like, oh my gosh, I really love this. This is what I'm going to do. But even though I loved doing it, there was no money to be made in it. So I was kind of dabbling, in different things, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And about a couple months before I got introduced to network marketing, I was really in a place of, what am I doing with my life? I feel like I'm spinning my wheels in place. I feel like I'm working hard. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing. I'm going to college. I'm working. I'm going to graduate with my degree, which I feel like that's what I was raised to do. That's what I was taught I was supposed to do. When I got introduced to network marketing, everything just really changed for me.
Awesome. And what was that aha moment when you realized, network marketing was the route that you wanted to take, where you could, shine, build a business, build your own income, where, you don't have to go the traditional route?
I love sharing this part of my story, because this is really where everything changed for me, which hence the aha moment was definitely for me in March of 2012. I was at a convention for my company in Kansas City, Missouri. So I flew from the beautiful islands of Hawaii to Kansas City, Missouri, which at the time I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go to Kansas City. But I knew that I just had to do what successful people were doing. And all my mentors were telling me, you're crazy if you don't come to this event. It's really going to change your life. But I had to get there to know what they were talking about. So it was the last day of convention, and it was March. And the keynote speaker, who is the co-founder of that company, and actually about a year and a half after that, he became my personal mentor. And anyway, the keynote speaker was speaking at the end of the event, and he took everyone through this exercise where, we all closed our eyes and we envisioned, what our life would be like if we had no limitations. If money wasn't an issue, if time wasn't an issue, if you didn't have anybody telling you when you could show up and when you could leave and when you could go on vacation. You didn't have any limitations at all. And, I just envisioned myself giving back, traveling, the types of homes I would own, the type of car I would drive, what my family would look like. And I remember us all having these balloons. And we wrote on the balloons what our biggest fear was. What were those limiting beliefs? And we wrote them on the balloon. And it was about a 10-minute exercise. And we just closed our eyes and envisioned. And at the end, everybody popped their balloons. And I knew at that moment everything that I felt and everything that I had experienced at that event. When you just feel something and and it just creates and it stirs up this emotion inside of you. It was the most phenomenal experience that I've ever had. And that moment, I remember like it was yesterday in March, was truly the beginning of entrepreneurship for me.
Awesome. And I love that story you shared. I did like a similar exercise where we wrote down all our self-limiting beliefs, but instead of popping balloons, we just burnt the paper, right? It's like we just burnt every like self-limiting belief that you had. And it's a great feeling when you can like let it go and just keep going on your new journey. So thanks for sharing that. And, after that event, how's your life like right now?
Oh my gosh. I am in a place where I'm happy. I'm so at peace. I'm absolutely loving what I'm doing right now with getting ready to launch my Gen Y success and leadership coaching business actually in the next couple days. But after that event, it was about a couple months, actually about 60 days after that event, I took my business from about 15,000 in sales to over 155,000. And I became the youngest six-figure earner in that company as a female. And about 3 years into building that organization, my team was fully operational in 6 different countries and totaling over $3 million in sales in that period of time that I was there. And I had made about almost $250,000 in that company. And that was before I was 25. So I was 24 when that happened. But aside from business success and monetary gain, I completely changed as an individual, completely changed as a person from, where I started 4 years ago. And I really just became this bulletproof female entrepreneur, with just unbreakable success or unbreakable confidence and belief, myself that I could accomplish anything that I set my mind to. And that had started from, stepping out of my comfort zone in the very beginning because it was very uncomfortable in the beginning for me. I developed this foundation as I was building my business on a quote that I heard by Zig Ziglar. And he says, if you help enough people get what they want, eventually you'll get what you want. And I have always had that mindset my whole life. But when I heard that quote, at the very beginning when I started building my business, I knew that if I was ever going to create massive success, in this industry and outside of the industry as an entrepreneur, that it would always have to be based on helping other people get what they want. And you have to do things with the right intentions and you have to be genuine about it. And I believe if you are, and you're following your passion and you're a hard worker, you can really achieve anything that you want to, but it's been a life transformation for me, and to do something for people that, they could never repay you for. I feel like that's the most rewarding part of being an entrepreneur is really touching those people's lives, by the masses. So, I'm loving where I'm at in life. I'm out in Hawaii right now. I'll be traveling all over the place next month. I'll be in California. I'll be in Vegas. I'll be in Orlando, going to Chicago for a few days. And then, we'll be back here in Hawaii launching the business. So I'm in a good place. I'm happy.
Awesome. I'm so happy for your success, especially, being a female entrepreneur. We have to work like twice as hard to prove to everybody that we can do anything we set our mind to. And, you're just proof that, anyone can do this, right? It's just taking the action and just going out there no matter what the result is. So, I'm really happy for your success. And Michelle, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she's inspired. She's ready to take her own, action in her life, being able to live the life that she wants. What would be that one tip you would give to her in her journey of self-confidence?
Well, I'll say 2 things, and they kind of intertwine together. Is number 1, finding your passion, finding what you really love to do. And I feel like for a lot of women, and not just women, males too. Is, we do stuff. We go to a job. We work, and we try to find a career that's going to make us a lot of money. But I feel like if you're not really enjoying what you're doing, you're just going to work for the rest of your life. You know, it's not going to be something that you really love to do and you can't wait to wake up every single day and, go to work. If that doesn't get you excited, then you're not really living. So I would say to find your passion. Then number two, when you find that passion, find somebody who's been successful in the area that you're looking to do business in. Find somebody that's been successful and literally just duplicate every single thing that they do, because I did that. In the beginning, when I was first starting my business, I had no idea what I was doing, but I just knew that I wanted to help people. Health and fitness was something that has always been a part of my life, and I knew I wanted to make money. So I found somebody who was successful in those couple different categories, and I just did everything that they were the information that they were putting out, in the universe for other people to, duplicate. And I just kept doing it. And eventually, I attracted the right mentors into my life. And after that point, after I did have that right mentorship and the leadership, my business and my life completely changed. Financially, I would never have imagined that at 25 years old, I'd be where I am financially and in time freedom. Never thought that I'd be able to do what I am doing now. I get to choose where I work, who I work with, and when I want to work, but that all was based off of what is my passion and who can I get to help me. So those are the two things that I would, the two pieces of advice that I would give to any female that's listening to this.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that advice. And that was great advice, just learning, from successful people and just duplicating what they do and, just going out there and finding your passion. And, Michelle, if the listeners want to get to know a little bit more about yourself, wanted to get to know a little bit more about the coaching business that you're launching soon, is there a website or any social media profiles that we can connect with?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a website up, and my coaching business is tailored towards Gen Y, but it's not primarily coaching for Gen Y. And the reason for that is because I have a strong passion to help lead my generation, because Generation Y is the largest demographic in history. So looking at that, I really want to be able to help those people and teach them what I've learned about business and success and really the principles of it. So you can go to michellechingcoaching.com, and the website will actually be officially launched in about 48 hours. So on Tuesday, I'm officially going to launch that, and you can go ahead and fill out the contact information there if you want to chat.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And to the listeners out there, if you want to head on over and check out Michelle's website, just go to thetaoofselfconfidence.com and search for Michelle's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And, I just want to thank Michelle for taking the time to share her story. I mean, it's such an inspiring story, especially at her age. I'm really happy for your success. So thank you so much for sharing your time and your story with us on this episode.
Awesome. Thank you, Sheena.
No problem. And to the listeners out there, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for connecting with us on the Tao of Self-Confidence. Visit thetaoofselfconfidence.com for links to everything we chatted about, as well as killer resources, gifts, and so much more.